FIBO 2024, wir sind bei Panatta. Bei uns ist Bodybuilding-Legende Phil Heath.
Well, I'm really excited to be here, and I know a lot of people say that, but I've been, really eager to come back after COVID. I wasn't able to come here, and it really depressed me because there's so many enthusiastic bodybuilding fans, and being, of course, with the best company, with Panatta Fitness, with all of the amazing pieces, it enables me to get a little workout in as well at the expo before I meet with everybody. So I get to get a little workout in, and then I get to, pour into everybody else.
What does FIBO mean for bodybuilding athletes?
Oh, well, when you become, especially when you become an IBB pro, being from America, you want to be able to travel the world. And the biggest stop is here in Germany at the FIBO. I remember when I turned pro years ago, I would always ask, so what is it like traveling outside of the US? And every athlete said, you got to go to FIBO, you got to go to FIBO. When I finally went, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And it's grown over the last, 10, 15 years as well. Moved from Essen to Düsseldorf, now to Cologne. But the fans, it's really about the passion that they all have for health and fitness. And you start to see more companies, not just in sports nutrition, but in equipment, in wellness, and in multiple levels and layers of business. I mean, you go through these different halls and it's something new every time you come here. So it's really awesome to see how the FIBO has enabled people to have better commerce and better connection with their clients, other vendors, and of course the fans of bodybuilding.
We're at the Panatta stand, Panatta booth here. How did the collaboration with Panatta come about?
Oh gosh, I've been wanting to do a collaboration with Panatta from the very beginning of my career. Unfortunately, being in America, there was a lot of gym owners that weren't quite aware of the brand, but there was a certain price point that they, weren't willing to go after. And I used to tell a lot of these gym owners, I'm like, you get what you pay for. And when I would travel to Spain or I travel to Italy, I would see Panatta. And I'm a huge fan of just Italian culture because of the, from the fine wine. My wife is Italian, beautiful women, the clothing, yep. And of course the exotic vehicles. But then of course, visiting in Apiro, getting to meet with Rudy Panatta, the founder, the owner, and also with his son, getting to see, the factory and understanding every bit of energy and passion from the thought that Rudy will have to go put that on paper, to then share it with engineers, to come up with a piece of equipment, to then say this is good or this is not, to make sure that there is scientifically proven that it's going to help, and then have athletes like me to be able to use it. My gosh, I tell everyone, I wish I would have had Panatta even during my Olympia run, because I would have been an even greater, more complete champion than I was. And I won 7 Mr. Olympias. I think I would have been even a greater champion. But with that said, Panatta is everything to me. I cannot wait to have this in my own personal gym. But then most importantly, being able to have this at post-retirement from the competitive stage of bodybuilding, being able to still look and feel healthy without having the injuries that a lot of people unfortunately come about when they're training, heavy. And, that's the last thing I ever want. I want to make sure that I can look and feel great for the rest of my life.
Probably the brand, or the whole company benefits from the knowledge from Rudy Panatta, was a bodybuilding athlete himself. Did that inspire the cooperation that Rudy Panatta was a bodybuilding athlete himself?
Oh, absolutely. When you have someone like Rudy who is so passionate about the sport of bodybuilding, and it was a champion in powerlifting, weightlifting, and the mind, and then the passion. He and I have this really great relationship because we see each other as an equal of being able to have it in the mind, have it in the spirit, and do it for a long period of time. We're talking about a person who has done this brand, has had this brand longer than a lot of gym goers have been alive. And he still is in the gym each and every day, and he always has a smile. And when I see Rudy, and I've had a lot of great conversations with him, I love being around that type of energy. He is one of my idols for when I become older, I want to have the same passion, the same enthusiasm that he has, and the same creative mind. There's not a day where I see Rudy like down. If anything, he's always trying to lift everyone up. And to provide equipment, think about that. Like, he has a dream to make other people look and feel better. That is definitely a person who I align myself with.
What are you doing now after your active career as a professional bodybuilder? You have several projects in the running, I heard.
So right now, one of our biggest projects just launched was our documentary, Breaking Olympia, courtesy of Universal Pictures. It's a global brand, a Hollywood studio release. I mean, that's very rare to have a documentary, especially with a bodybuilder. But more importantly, me as an individual, as a human being, being able to share a lot of the intricate details as to how I became a champion, what was life before that, how did I grow up, what is the whys in the road that got me even to wanting to compete in bodybuilding, let alone become a 7-time Mr. Olympia champion. And then post-career, what does that look like? Well, right now, we have a lot of cool things underway. Can't share it all, but what I can say is that throughout all the relationships such as Panatta, the company Transcend that I'm with, a telehealth medical company out of Auburn Hills, Michigan, who I'm partnered with, and I enjoy everything that they're doing and more and more and more. The future is extremely bright, just like how the sun came out right when you asked this question. And it's predominantly because when you compete, you want to have light at the end of that sometimes dark tunnel. When you're in the trenches and you're training to become Mr. Olympia and it's a lot of stress, you want to be able to say, you know what, I can breathe. I've attained 7 Mr. Olympia titles. I'm very thankful that through my motivational speaking that I've been picking up, a lot of different clients and whatnot. I get to travel the world still with bodybuilding, but of course, spreading the good love of bodybuilding, being a commentator at the Mr. Olympia has been great. But again, a lot of the new things that are coming into fruition this year, you'll see very, very soon. And one of the things that I will have to pat myself on the back a little bit is I will actually be inducted at the 2024 60th Mr. Olympia into the International Sports Hall of Fame. Well, and I am very thankful for that opportunity. So all of these things in this year are just splendid. I've been very blessed, and that's why I'm smiling when I talk. That's why I can't wait to meet with everybody as I talk with you. Everything is very, very good.
So congratulations, Dan. What do you think bodybuilding has changed in the past 20 years?
I would definitely
In which way?
Yes, I would definitely say the things that have changed the most in bodybuilding is that there's more cameras. Social media, everyone has to become their own media company. Whereas before, when you become a bodybuilder, people will write about you. Now you have to write about yourself. That, in a way, can be good, and it can be not so good, because some people are very introverted, and that's why they get into bodybuilding. They just want to pour into their art, because this is an art. Imagine a Michelangelo having to deal with people that want to acknowledge him, but at the same time, he has to acknowledge himself. So I think the last 20 years has been very interesting. It's trying to correct itself from like the magazine culture now to the old social media culture. But what social media, in my opinion, has done a great benefit for the sport of bodybuilding is we become more connected faster. And I love that part. The interviews that we're doing now can be seen by millions of people all over the world very, very instantly. So I think that's one of the major things. But then also, like even with Panatta, like the amazing new pieces of equipment. These are pieces that I never had when I was training for the Olympia. So a lot of things has changed, which I think is going to impact the sport in a much more healthy way.
What would be your tip, your advice to a young bodybuilder who wants to be an athlete or maybe become a professional athlete? What would be your advice?
I think anyone that's trying to be a professional at anything, whether it be a competitive bodybuilder, a businessman, whatever, is stop comparing yourself to social media people. It steals your joy. You have to make sure that you run your own race, and then you have to give yourself time to grow. So with bodybuilding, everything isn't going to happen just like that. You have to have this thing called delayed gratification. So some things are going to take longer than others. But that's the beauty of building something great, is that you are very meticulous with every brick that you lay, and that you do it, and then one day you build an empire. So for anyone young, they have to remind themselves to love themselves every day, but most importantly, thank their body every day for putting up with all the heavy lifting and all that stress.
Beautiful words. Thank you very much, Phil Heath.
Thank you.
Thank you.